Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Nerden here once again, and in today's video I am going to be discussing about what happened in episode 2 of Doctor Who Flux, aka War of the Sontarans, because oh my, it was another jam-packed episode with loads of things going on, and it may be easy to get confused, okay, because there's so many perspectives, and yeah, it can be hard to keep track. So this video is going to break everything down and kind of, explain what's going on. So yeah, let's get into this video. Okay, so first of all, following on from the cliffhanger, the Flux has simply displaced the Doctor, Dan and Yaz in time, and they all wake up in the Crimean War. Until things get a little bit interesting. So, basically, they are found by Mary Seacole, and instead of the war being fought with Russia, it's not with Russia. It is indeed with the Sontarans. So the British soldiers are indeed fighting the Sontarans, and obviously we all know the Sontarans are brutal warmongers, and yeah, it's crazy on how time has been displaced, and essentially the Sontarans are able to appear in points in Earth's history in order to basically win every conquest, every single war, and that is what's going on. But before all that happens, Yaz and Dan are displaced in time once again. They are faded from reality. The Doctor remains in this time period with Mary Seacole and the other British soldiers, but yes, Yaz and Dan are displaced in other points of time. So, let's first of all talk about what happens with the Doctor in the Crimean War. So basically, the Doctor learns that yes, the Sontarans are the enemy faction to the British soldiers in this time period. That again doesn't really fit with Earth history, but yeah, they have essentially infiltrated this time period, and that they are the opposing enemy faction, and yeah, they are up for basically setting up Earth as a Sontaran Empire outpost, and that they are ready for global conquest. And the Sontaran commander does actually mention a cheeky little reference to the Sontaran links, commander links from the classic series that I thought was a pretty nice touch. But yeah, that does kind of go into detail about how motivated this Sontaran army are for basically destroying Earth at various points in history, basically global annihilation. So yeah, during the Doctor's time in this war, she does learn that yes, that the Sontarans are ready to march against the British army, and she decides to do a little bit investigating with Mary Seacole, and she discovers like a camouflage base with some huge Sontaran ships that were very reminiscent to the ones from the Russell T Davies era, and essentially the Sontarans are ready for a big assault, and there's certainly a lot of Sontarans, and she does try to organise a parley where she tries to negotiate with the Sontaran commander, but the British general, he doesn't like it. So essentially, he's like, okay, let's cause a little bit of mayhem, and he decides to initiate a fight with the Sontarans, thinking that his army will be more than a match for the Sontarans, but he is quickly proven wrong in a pretty awesome action piece where the British army are indeed annihilated by the Sontarans in one brutal massacre. So we've got a disgraced general who plays dead, and then obviously the Doctor is able to go back to the army base to kind of rethink her plan and how she is going to stop the Sontarans. But before all this happens as well, Mary Seacole is able to get some plans and kind of think about, how to stop these Sontarans. You know, what are they doing? And she's obviously writing down in her notes, you know, what they're doing, you know, how they're interacting with the ships and all that, and yeah, just try and get as much information as she can to give to the Doctor. So yeah, they're able to take all these notes, and whilst going to the Sontaran ship, you know, they board it and all that, and they're able to communicate with Dan, who's in the present day on board a Sontaran ship. And yes, this is where things get interesting. So when Dan, as I mentioned earlier, he gets displaced in time, and he is sent back to where he came from, modern day Liverpool, and the Sontarans, just as the Lopari ships formed a shield around Earth, they slipped through and they essentially set up base with time ships that would allow them to go through, as I mentioned previously, they were able to go through Earth at various points in Earth's history in order to do global conquest, win every single battle. But Dan meets up with his parents after breaking curfew. That was quite interesting. So essentially the Sontarans are the dominant force, and that they've got the human race on watch basically as they're building these ships. So yeah, essentially Dan sneaks into the Sontaran compound that is where Liverpool docks used to be, and that's how he is able to communicate with the Doctor through video call or something like that on the Sontaran ship. And then let's talk about what happened with Yaz, because Yaz does go to the temple of Atropos, where she meets Vinder, and the Temple of Atropos is on the planet called Time. What is the planet of Time? Is there a planet called Time? No one knows, but it is host to the race called the Mori, who are essentially like the handlers of time, and apparently they haven't done a good job, or they've been damaged and they're not doing their job. So this could be how the Flux has started. So the time's damaged and time's doing whatever it wants. It's out of control, and that could be the origin of the Flux. But Swarm and Azure, who are the big antagonists of this series, they show up as well, and they previously went to this temple. So assumingly they did try to initiate the Flux originally. Maybe. But let's get back onto the Sontaran defeat. So essentially, in the present day, Carvanista does rescue Dan from the Sontaran ship just to save him from execution. And yeah, he is able to sabotage the Sontaran shipbuilding in Liverpool docks by basically crashing the Sontaran ship that they're on into various other Sontaran ships, because they're all time ships, so it creates some time flux and they all get destroyed, basically crashing into them, and they escape through the waste chute. And in the Crimean War, the Doctor basically disables the Sontaran oxygen, let's call it that, where they use the Prebic vents in order to stop being poisoned by the Earth's gases. And yeah, she forces them into retreat. However, the British general, in order to avenge his fallen army or heal his guilt or something, he basically uses explosives to blow up the Sontaran fleet in the Crimean War. So the Sontarans have been defeated at 2 points in Earth's history, and then yeah, the Doctor basically cusses out the disgraced general and makes her way back to the TARDIS, which is indeed in a worse state than it was before, with stuff growing all over it. But she picks up Dan, and they go back to, well, the TARDIS gets hijacked, and they go to find Yaz. And something very interesting has happened, where Vinder and Yaz have become the replacement for the fallen Mori. And Swarm does hint that their bodies won't be able to survive the massive amount of time energy that is going through their bodies. So one thing for sure is, maybe these are the initiators of the Flux, maybe, or something that, you know, with all this time displacement energy, maybe it all goes through them and it has some deeper benefits for Swarm, maybe. But either way, Yaz and Vinder are indeed playing host for the Mori, and obviously the Swarm has initiated this with the snap of his fingers. So whatever happens next, there will be consequences. So yeah, this is my rough explanation to everything that happened in that episode. Hope it made a little bit more sense, because I know with these sorts of episodes, people are just like, yo, there's so many different perspectives. But honestly, I did love this episode so much. I will be doing a full review later on, and I can't wait to discuss it. But yeah, with that being said, thank you very much for all your support. If you are new around here, be sure to subscribe for more nerdy content, as we are on the road to 3,000 subscribers that I would love to reach by the end of the year. But with that being said, thank you very much for all your support, and goodbye for now.